Howdy everybody in YouTube land. Now that the first and second boards are completely done and working, the only thing that's left is this one. And this one needs everything. It looks like he changed one cap here, but all the rest of them are original. They're going to have to be replaced. And this is the one that has the broken via point. I'm not sure the critical condition of the board yet. I'm going to have to inspect everything, because this board here, if I plug it in, all these pals are right and these pals are good, okay? If I plug it in, it powers up, but there's no chime, no video, nothing. It's completely lifeless, okay? So this one's probably going to take further extensive troubleshooting to be able to figure out what it is, and hopefully a chip like that or something like this isn't bad. He said if you flex the board, sometimes it would work, sometimes it wouldn't. You know, I tried fixing this a little bit, and I've tried flexing it every which way except 360 degrees, and I couldn't get it to do anything. So we'll see. So first order of business is pull all these capacitors off and replace them, and check this one here and make sure there's no exposed traces that are being shorted out. So yeah, this one's going to be a fun one. This one's going to be the challenge. While I'm in the middle of removing these capacitors, I want to take some time out and show you exactly what a clean removal looks like. If you look at this board, that's, other than C6, that's a clean removal, no residue or nothing left behind. C6 is the one that he redone, but C5, C3, and C4 are the ones that I've done. And I just got done pulling that one as well. Okay? So basically, what you want to do is take your cutters. These are a little bit too big, so I want to start on the other side. Take your cutters. You find a capacitor. Okay. Sometimes this works if the pads aren't really weak. Sometimes it won't. What you do is you take your cutters. You just bite into the capacitor like so, and just barely wiggle it off. And what's going to happen is when you wiggle it, you're going to feel one side snap loose. Okay? This takes a minute or two. Okay, it appears that one side snapped loose. So what we're going to do, now that we got one side that's snapped loose, we're actually going to tin up the one side like so. Sometimes this works, sometimes it doesn't. So much glue on there it doesn't want to stick, and I don't have any flux handy. Plus I'm trying to do this with a camera in front of me, so I can't get a good bite on the capacitor. And once you do that, it'll let loose. Okay. Now I thought I snapped it on the loose on this one side, and I didn't. So always make sure of that. So what we're going to do is we're going to get the solder up under there like so. And we're going to snap it loose. Okay, that cap is officially removed without losing any pad whatsoever. Now you see it's kind of dirty. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take the soldering iron, we're going to tin up the pads like so, and then we're going to take the trusty desoldering wick, and we are going to remove the solder off the pads. At the same time, just rub a little bit on the pad because it's going to clean off a little bit of the capacitor residue. So now the solder is completely cleaned off of the pads. Okay, now the solder is completely removed. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take our trusty can of PCB flux remover and cleaner. We're going to just spray it on our microfiber Gently rub over the area, and then rub over the area with a dry spot. It cleans up off all residue and leaves no flux behind, and you have nice shiny pads just like such. That's how you properly remove a capacitor on these boards. It's fully recapped and not a single pad lost anywhere. I ran out of tantalums, so I had to use one here and one here of a radial type. I didn't have a problem using tantalum in this one because where I removed the capacitors, I didn't lose any solder mask. The only solder mask lost is right here where he tried to do it. And I just made sure the capacitor was positioned in a way where the wide pad isn't going to touch the solder mask. So it's time to fire it up and see what happens. Hello fellow YouTubers. Well, I completely went through this board. I checked the grounds to all the ground pins of all the chips. They were all good. I checked the positive 5 volts, which is required for the logic, to all of the chips, RAM, RAM controller, the FPU and the CPU and all that. Everything's connected. There are absolutely no breaks in the power plane. So, just when I was about to throw in the towel for the day, I decided to check all these fuses, okay, which they're good, okay. So, but without breaking out the scope and throwing in the towel or possibly just throwing the board away, which I'm not going to do, I decided to do one more thing, okay. I decided to check all these little inductors, okay. Got one there, one here, several of them here, okay. Got the meter on, and when checking all the inductances, I found something, okay. Let's see if I don't have a tripod. See if I can get this meter in the shot here. Okay. I'm going to measure L14. I'm going to measure L12. Okay? But now I'm going to measure L13. Ah, nothing. Absolutely nothing. L13 is completely open. So, but L14 and L12 next to it are okay, but L13 is open. Well, let's see what L13 is, shall we? 14 and 12 are good, but 13 is open. Well, how is that? If this is open, you would think the rest of them are open. Okay. That's the 5 volts. 13's open. Here we go. The main crystal oscillator. No power to the main crystal oscillator. Logic circuits won't work without a heartbeat, ever. So we're going to go ahead and jump out L13 and see if we can get it to fire up. Okay guys, he's all jumped out. Actually, I think I've done where to go. Well, actually, anyway, as I was removing L13, the thing just fell apart. L13 just fell apart. Broke in half. Just barely touching it. So, for sure, it was definitely bad. So, now what we're going to do, move everything out of my way, unplug the meter. We'll go ahead and grab the unit to set it up and give it a try. Move the camera out of the way. Let's see, oops, won't work without the ROM sim. Get the ROM sim back in place. Fire it up. Nope. Push the connector in a little better. And give it a shot. See if it works. Hey, how about that? 3 for 3, baby. Heck yeah. See if we get our blinking disc of happiness, or doom, whichever way you look at it. Yep, sure do. This board is perfectly alive. So basically, in a nutshell, jumping out L13 established a connection back to the local oscillator. So the local oscillator now is able to produce the heartbeat required for all the logic circuits to operate. So there you go. The next phase of all these videos is getting the hard drives hooked up, floppy drive hooked up, and testing the serial ports and, you know, all that fun stuff and make sure everything works there. But so far so good. Thank you for watching.